When organisations are looking to create the best solutions, products and outcomes for their customers, it's essential that they have a workforce creating those things that reflects all of the people in society through all different perspectives. And with women making up half of our society globally, the insight that they bring is absolutely essential to helping us achieve the best outcomes. There's some brilliant research from the thought leader McKinsey that shows over a sustained period of time the positive impact that gender diversity has on a business's financial performance. It's not only the right thing to do, but it delivers tangible business results as well. If we think about innovation, we simply do not get innovation through groupthink. We get it through different perspectives coming together. If I think about the technology sector for a moment, the tech sector continues to be a male-dominated space. LinkedIn estimates that the tech talent pool within the UK is currently around 29%. And the technology sector gender pay gap around 25%. So there is huge scope for improvement in gender equality. And that's where Fujitsu, alongside all other technology businesses, can play a huge role, both in making sure that gender equality is at the forefront of one of our business priorities, but also influencing that in wider society through how we engage with our supply chain, partners and customers. Fujitsu was amongst the first 1% of UK organisations to publish our gender pay gap in 2017. And since then, we're pleased to have made significant progress in reducing that gap, narrowing it from 17.9% down to 11.8%. Now, clearly, there is still work to do. Our goal is to get that to zero. But at the time of publishing our pay gap, we committed to a 4-pillar action plan, which we've since evolved to 5. And that gives us a focus on a comprehensive set of actions to achieve gender equality. Those actions relate to specific things that we do in how we recruit, how we develop, how we retain, and how we pay women to ensure equality. And our 5th pillar is around data. We place a huge emphasis on using data to both understand where we need to be taking action, but also to be clear about the impact of the actions that we're taking. Some of the benefits that we've seen over the past 5 years now of our gender balance action plan have been that our female engagement rates continue to track higher than for our male colleagues. We're now delighted to have 50% of our UK leadership team made up of women. And we have some fantastic role models as a consequence of that. And we've been recognised as a Times Top 50 employer for women for the last 4 years. But all of this is not without its challenges. This is a 5-year plan and we're not there yet. We will only be there when we've eradicated our pay gap. It's a huge culture shift, and culture change takes time. It requires tenacity. It requires tenacity of all of the leaders and influencers within an organisation. And that time can be a source of frustration. It's always important to remember the little bits of progress that we're making, as well as the ultimate end game. And a real challenge that we're experiencing, certainly at the moment within our sector, is its hugely competitive market for women in tech. Organisations have really woken up to the value of gender equality. And in a market where women are underrepresented, they're even more attractive to employers. But that sets a mandate, that sets a really important mandate for organisations to be deliberate about the culture that they have and the things that they put in place to make sure they remain an attractive employer that women want to work for. So 3 takeaways I would give. Number 1, use your data. Your people data tells a really rich story about the experiences of women in your organisation, be that female representation at each level, your pay gaps, progression rates, time to progress, the moments at which women may be getting stuck in their careers. So use all of the data sources that you have to help build this picture, and that will help to guide you to where your focus areas and actions need to be. And I'd recommend a really excellent book to help you get to think a little bit more about how you use your gender data. And that book is called The Gender Data Gap. Tip number 2 would be listen to your people. And you may think, well, of course that is obvious. And it sounds so simple. But what I mean by that is genuinely listen to your people and use the insight that you're picking up from them to inform your strategy. Let me give you an example of how we've done that at Fujitsu. During the COVID pandemic, we invited all of our people at Fujitsu to help us develop our approach to future ways of working. And we noticed really overwhelming feedback from our female colleagues that what they really valued about Fujitsu's support during the COVID pandemic was the level of flexibility. And we could then translate that into higher female employee engagement rates as well. Those factors combined have directly contributed to our Work Your Way commitment, which is our commitment to flexible and hybrid working beyond the COVID pandemic. And we got that through listening to our people. And number 3, sustained commitment is needed. This is a long game, and your leadership's commitment is essential. We're in the 5th year of our action plan and we're still going. We've got to keep at it until we eradicate our pay gap and have a workforce that reflects society. And our people managers are essential in that. Ensure that they're held to account for gender equality within their teams. And gender equality is not solely my job. It's not solely the job of your D&I leaders or your HR leaders. Everybody can play a part in creating a gender inclusive culture. And with that in mind, be deliberate about how you're going to hold your leaders to account. Be sure what their responsibilities are in creating gender equality and determine metrics that will ensure they can track and monitor their own progress.